everyone. Today we're going to have a review of the basic strokes in a tennis match. First the forehand and then followed by the backhand. Thank you. My name is Frankie. I'm on the men's tennis team here at UL, and today we're going to go through some of the basic techniques and strokes that you use in tennis match. So first of all, we're going to start with the basics. So how are you going to hold the racket? Now traditionally you would hold the racket like you were shaking hands with it and hit it in a fairly flat shot, and you hit through the ball a lot. But nowadays with the modern rackets and the modern strings, like we have here for example, probably one of the most modern rackets you can get, where people tend to hit with more topspin. And so in order to do this you need to rotate the grip slightly. So you rotate it slightly to your right, and this basically shuts the racket face, which allows you to brush up on the ball, and that's what gives you the power and the speed and the topspin. So that's on the forehand, and so basically you're hitting over the ball more rather than with the traditional grip where you hit through it. And now there is a place for the traditional grip, so I'm not saying you shouldn't be taught that, but in the pro game especially, it's very, very difficult to compete unless you have that. Now that we've covered the basic forehand grip, we're going to go into the basic backhand grip. Now again, traditionally everyone used to use a single-handed backhand, but recently times have changed, and basically it's pretty rare, especially at our level, it's the collegiate level and increasingly in the pros, very rare to see someone with single-handed backhand. Now this is partly because the double-handed gives you that much more security with your backhand, and just gives you a firmer hold on the racket. And then the single-hander is a much looser shot, and it can be, I mean, if you see a guy with a single-hander nowadays, then it tends to be that either it's terrible or it's amazing. You don't tend to see too many solid ones. And the double-hander also just allows a little bit more power. People start younger these days, so just lets you, if you're smaller, it lets you control, because the racket's kind of big as well if you're little. And then we start with the grip, which is pretty much what shaking hands with it. Maybe, I mean, for your preference, straight round it a little bit more, but you tend to be able to get away with a flatter ball with the backhand just because you have those two hands on the racket, which lets you control the flatter ball in a way that you can't do on the forehand. We've covered the basic forehand and backhand grip. We're going to go into the actual technique of hitting the ball. So we're going to, first we'll address the forehand. So you got say we've given you a semi-western grip. Now what you want to do is you want to loop the racket, taking it back high or on a plane. Probably it's best to take it back high if you're just starting out, because this will encourage you to then take it back high and then to drop it down. And what this does is it gets the racket below the ball, which allows you to rip up and through. This looping and dropping and then through is what will generate the racket head speed and the power and the top spin. Now, without this high to low action, if you just go high to medium, the ball flies too flat. If you go low to low, you're probably going to brush up on the ball. So it's about finding a balance of what gives you that consistent penetrating ball flight. And the backhand is very similar. People you tend to see on the backhand, because it's a flatter shot, more people taking it back parallel and then going down rather than the loop. But our cameraman today has a very fine backhand, and he takes it pretty high back, loops it down, I think. So it's just preference. But as I say, if you want to keep it simple, then probably advisable to take it back straight down, which you can get away with the two hands. You probably can't get away with it so much on the forehand because I need the loop to create that centrifuge and to create that racket head speed. And we also have in the backhand, we also have this backhand slice, which is traditionally you probably use one hand for it, and that to keep it on a very even plane. And you'll use that shot when you're trying to break up a opponent's rhythm or just to keep the ball low. It's a good defensive shot and also as an attacking shot when you come down. Thank you very much, Frankie, on the UL men's tennis team, for helping us on the forehand and backhand, both the grips and the technique.